Hey, what's up? It's me, Awesome Alley.
And I'm Raisa, and welcome back to another episode
of
of
Adults. Teens Need to Know. Who are you?
And what do you do? Today we are featuring an author, speaker, blogger, and social justice activist, Lena Cebula.
Woo!
Hi!
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So, Lena, thank you so much again for joining us on this interview. What we always do is start it off with our very first question, and that is, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm an author of spiritual autobiography called Miraculous, My Journey from Hell to Heaven. I am a drug addiction and human trafficking survivor. But today I'm a mama of three beautiful, healthy children, and I have amazing marriage. And now it's the time for me to speak up about my past and raise awareness about human trafficking.
Wow.
Very nice. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. And we're excited to hear a little bit more about yourself, the success, the struggle that you had to go through, and how you came to be where you are today, and the journey that you've gone on. So thank you for being brave enough, strong enough, and being the pioneer or one of the pioneers to lead this conversation with us today and, make people more aware of it. So once again, thank you for joining us. So the next question we have is, how and why did you become a social justice activist?
Well, I have to say was in my path in the beginning, because I thought I just gonna build the business, raise the family, be a wife and a mother and friend, because I didn't talk about my past for last 20 years, and I never thought that it's gonna come out, and I never in a million years thought I gonna be doing this publicly and sharing my story. But it's definitely everything changed after I gave my life to Christ, and He healed me, redeemed me, and saved me. And kind of I got the nudging of writing a book. And I have to say, I didn't want to write the book. I didn't volunteer. I actually cried for 3 days, thinking like, why do I have to go back? Why do I have to think about my past? Now I'm a wife and a mother, and I'm healed, and I'm thriving in my life. And it was amazing experience. It took me probably like 3 months to write good part of the story, and took me another 3 years to write the rest of it. And I cry and I laugh, and I realize that I actually see my past from different perspective. I was more kind to myself, and I was more forgiving to people, and I reconcile with my family. And I forgive them for everything that happened to me, because I have more compassion to them, because I realized they couldn't give me love because they didn't have it themselves. They were as broken as I were there. So I couldn't judge them. But it's a different when you going through the trouble, and when you come out and you're victorious, you can look back and you can have compassion to yourself and to people.
Very nice. Thank you. And can we talk about your story a little bit? From you said from hell to heaven. What was that like? How did it start? And what were some of the feelings you had? Being trapped in such a dangerous situation.
Well, I was living in a country that was falling apart because of the corruption, and because the poor, like not only like with money, poor with spirit as well. And I think in those days, like I was in very unique case where the parents were drinking, and well, my parents were alcoholics, and they lost very well paid jobs. And yes, and my home was full of strangers. And from early age, I started smoking and drinking. I probably was 12, 13 years old when I start swearing, drinking, smoking, because that was my environment that I live in. And from the early age, I became a target, and I've been raped numerous times because nobody cared, nobody protected me. And I tried to get the law enforcement get involved, but they know who I am, who my parents, and they say, well, I guess that's your own problem because you probably got it for yourself. Like, and plus, like with corruption, like if they actually pay the money or anything, like, so it's not, the law is not enforced. That's what I would like to say. Yeah.
Hmm. And when you and what how did you so when we were speaking behind the scenes, you said you got trafficked twice, once into
Israel
and once in Canada. So how did you get out of Israel, and what happened when you were in Canada?
Well, I think it's gonna start a little bit earlier. When I got raped, I actually got pregnant, and I didn't know who her father was. I just went to labor one day, and my baby died. I delivered the baby girl, and she's died from health complications. So I buried my first child when I was 15 years old. So it was not enough for me just like drinking and smoking anymore. I just needed to stop that guilt, shame, condemnation, because I kind of was surrendered to my fate, but I never thought that I gonna be part of this innocent child's life that that lost. And I carry her in, her death was like in my mind for probably like 20 years. And I started doing heavier drugs. I was on heroin probably for 3 years because I just want to disappear. I don't think like I want to kill myself and die, but I just want my brain to stop shaming me, anxiety, panic attacks. It just, the body couldn't function because the mind was so broken.
Mm.
So I look for the, I don't know, salvation, that some kind of peace, and that's what drugs give me for a time being, because it's kind of turn off the humanity. You just have like very simple task to get money, get drugs, get high, and that's was on a loop. But then I realized people dying around me and going to jail, and it just hit me like a truck that I want to leave. I don't want to be part of this mass that just disappears. So I'm start looking for a way out. But I've been like on the street for like 3 years. Like there was no way out. There was no hopes, no dreams, no help, no really community, no anything like that. So I met this guy who introduced me to his friends, and she brought me to her house, and she was very clean and beautiful and very wealthy. And she offered me some coffee and cream, and I was so impressed that there was cream in the coffee. That's how crazy the mind works. Like, so I was totally lured in by this wealth, and somebody paying attention to me, and somebody caring for me. So they offer me a job, and I just agreed to a job without even thinking, because in my mind was like, wow, they care for me. This is opportunity to get out from the street. I don't think like I even like asked what kind of job. I just, they made me passport, they clean me up, they dress me up, and I'm like, look, it's beautiful. And and then they actually sent me to Israel embassy to get a visa, but I guess they didn't believe my story, so visa was denied. But they say, you know what, we have another way. And that's another thing, like it's such a well-oiled machine, there's always another way. So that's another thing that I don't remember airport, I don't remember flight, I don't remember customs, because I was like still heavy on heroin. So I don't even know how I end up in another country. That's why right now people asking me like, what should we look for it? Sometimes you think, oh, it's signs of distress or something like that, but sometimes it's not. I went there willingly because I was so out of it. They just got me through it without questions. I just one day I woke up and I heard this prayer, Allahu Akbar, and I was like, what is it? And it was summer day, but back home it was winter. I was wearing like winter boots, winter jacket, but it was a summer day and it hit me. I wasn't in my country anymore.
Mm,
That's how easy it is. You think like it's like some evil guy like torturing that would be very visible and we could stop it. But you have to look for very fine signs of like somebody cannot speak for themselves, somebody being guided, somebody being like cannot hold their documents because I didn't have my passport, they did. You
mm.
know, those like signs you can look in a report as well.
Mm,
Wow, wow. That's very
yeah.
detailed. So thank you for sharing that. My question for you is, could you actually define, or would you define, or what the definition of what human trafficking is, and can you give an example of it?
Well, human trafficking is when somebody exploits someone against their will, but sometimes like they can threaten or sometimes they can be lured into it. Because look, for me, nobody have to actually threaten or beat me. But guess what? There was like, for me, it was escape. Although I end up in human trafficking, the situation that I have back home, I've been raped all the time. So for me, like it was almost a great. I was clean, I make money, but psychologically, that's how trapped like I was because I couldn't get out. I don't know how to and do anything and think differently. So that's the form of slavery.
Mm,
So that's the definition and how uh, I was the lucky one because when they sold me in brothel, actually the girls who came with me, some of them die, some of them disappear, some of them never been seen again. So the lucky one, I actually end up in a place that I was able to come back home when I pay off all my debts. So that's how I end up in Ukraine. And what happened though, I was able to save up a little bit money. I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I can start a different life so I can buy an apartment and find something else to do. And one of my bodyguard told me that they would search me and take away all my possession. So he convinced me to leave him all my the money and diamonds and whatever like I made over that time, and he never gave me my stuff back. And my aunt back home stole and spent all my money, so I come back home like with ground zero, and I
wow.
was so depressed that I went on drugs again. There like was no there was no other avenue for people like me, like it's drugs or die or like sell yourself because there's no other currency I have to leave. So and it's very difficult to actually have like this perspective because it's very traumatizing to thinking like about my own children and the way I raise them and the way I protect them and the way I teach them to take care of their bodies, to take care of their relationship and mind as well, because lots of stuff happen like if like from anxiety and right now especially like when we're all online have to pay very much attention like where we going because that's sadly enough like that's where the predators actually can hunt for a prey because the kids can be depressed or stressed out or not really good standing with parents.
Mm,
And yeah, that's a huge part we have to be keeping in mind that it's not only outside the online and actually share safe at home PDF like with you guys. That's very good resource. And this company, like organization called Fight for Freedom, it's Canadian, and here we have different cities that participating in fundraising, and you can definitely learn more how to prevent human trafficking, how to partner up with this organization to create more awareness. Actually, my red lipstick today I'm wearing for our February fundraiser, and you can wear bright colors, ribbons, or for boys bow ties to just start the conversation and create the awareness.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's move on to that. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us and with our audience. You mentioned a lot of despite you mentioned a lot of great things where you're saying like, you decided to reinvent your life and get out of it and do these things, and you were also sharing different signs that we should look out for, and also with this organization. So can you tell us a little bit about what the organization teaches you, and how did it get started, and how did you come to know of this organization?
Yes, absolutely. When I came to Canada, well, I think we have to go back kind of again. So I'm end up on drugs in Ukraine, and it's definitely didn't help me because in that time, like in my absence, my city was swallowed by drugs because again there was no dreams, no hopes, and everybody was kind of just lost. And then I decided to quit again. So I quit heroin twice in my life. And that's crazy because most of the people die from quitting drugs because body just cannot live without heroin. So I quit second time and actually try to have a job. But that's the problem when your mind is so broken, you cannot hold a 9 to 5 job. You just don't think like normal people, you don't behave like normal people. And there's the money aspect too, when you like making so much money, it doesn't matter like if you like threaten or like you free decide to go like sheep on a slaughter because it's no other way. It's still like your mentality, it's so different than regular people. So you have to like almost like when you come out, it's not enough just come out. You have to totally rehabilitate your mind, your body, and you have to have a purpose because without it, it's gonna be sucked in back right away. So that's definitely what didn't help me because all I have is desire to quit. So I quit and people helped me and they even got me a job 9 to 5, but it was on a market and it was outside and it was cold and sometimes nobody paid me. So it's kind of the same exploitation except it's not the sex exploitation, but still if you're using labor and you don't pay, it's kind of the same kind of slavery. So I decided to quit, and actually second time around I sold myself willingly. So because I needed to way out and I need to just quit drugs. And I actually want to come back to Israel. That's how crazy my brain was. I'm like, I'd rather to be in the brothels than in my home where I'm dying from drugs anyway. So that was like kind of mindset. But the 9/11 happened, so like I wasn't be able to come back. So they say, you know what, we're gonna give you outlet in another country. And I said, I'll go anywhere. I like don't care. And by the grace of God, I came to Canada, and it was the most amazing part because when I came, I actually was able to submit like my documents and start processing and actually being legal in this country. So that's right away I'm start thinking. That's what the brain of a person like me right away thinking like of opportunity. So I'm like, wow. So if I have a paper trail, and if people saying to me that law being enforced in here, that mean that I able to stay here and not be in the sex industry or like being uh, slave here, that maybe I have an opportunity. So I'm just start um, waiting for the opportunity. I was learning the English here and there, and then I ran away. And I end up living in shelter, and my documents still was like in the process. I end up living in shelter. Then I met one of the friend, and this is the key, like if you ever get in trouble, to seek help. If you think like nobody there to help you, that is a lie. You go to the government, they will take care of you. You go to the police, they will take care of you. You go to Fight for Freedom organization, they will take care of you. Call Canada Help Rescuing, like they will take care of you. Know that you always have that exit if you need it or you want it. And even one person, sometimes we think like, oh, you need the army. I had one person who believed in me and decided to help me, and help me to get on welfare, get my first apartment, struggled through the reading kids' books from the library. Then I got my first job at Canada Wonderland. I hate it, but it helped me. It helped me to, because it's so far away from my house. I actually took the bus and I start reading kids' books in the bus. That's how I learned English, to actually go to the cosmetology course, and I finished cosmetology course and became a hairstylist.
Wow,
Oh.
what a very inspirational story there from, finding no lack of purpose. That's what I want to touch upon for a
Mhm.
second is you said there was no opportunity, there was no a lack of person, there's no desire really to live, but rather just to, try to escape the world that you're living in, and drugs, heroin, the main one there was that escape for you, which was to go out, get away from your current environment and just get that high that it would give, right? So to talk about that, you found the purpose. You're a mom of three now, right? You have a husband, you have a sustainable job, you're living a better life than what you were many years ago. So throughout your entire journey, what tips would you give to a teenager who might be feeling right now, I'm lost, I don't know what to do,
Lonely.
I'm lonely, depressed and stuff, and thinking drugs or is going to be their next alternative? What's something that you would tell them to, either inspire them to stay away from that or give them something they can do to find that purpose or meaning again?
Absolutely. I think two things right away comes to my mind. First of all, the drugs, it's illusion. It's not gonna solve the problem. It's just gonna kind of like it's temporary solution. You think it works, but it's not. So you have to look deeper. And you, second one, it's you're not alone. Honestly, everybody's struggling, everybody's suffering. You need to find a person to be honest and open with. Honestly, only one person that you can trust your fears, your pain, and just seek that help and move forward. But drugs, it's not gonna be solution. And this time in this beautiful country, you have like amazing resources to back you up. Any kind of resources, whatever you need therapy, whatever you need lawyers, whatever you need some advice, whatever you need people to pray for you, whatever you need community, you can find help. If you believe that you're alone, that is not true. If you believe nobody help you, that is not true. Seek help and don't go into drugs, because it's like mess on its own and it's not gonna help you to thrive. Maybe it's like gonna be temporary solution. But what very interesting, and I find it helpful for me. It's purpose. Honestly, for me, it was a hairstyling, because I really like to make people beautiful, and I like how it built confidence in them. And plus, I like talking, so it was like kind of like perfect job for me. And I'm very creative, so after I got my hair salon, I thought this is my dream. My dreams come true. Everything kind of come together, which was beautiful. And probably now 5 years ago, I give no right now like 11 years ago I give my life to Christ, but 5 years ago I feel this nudging that God saying to me, you know what, now it's the time to deal with your past. And
Mhm.
I clearly got the message to write a book. And I told you guys that I cried for 3 days, and I was I couldn't understand why do I have to tell the people who I am, because I know in my heart that they would judge me, they would rejecting me, they would I don't know what, like offended, like I don't know, because it was totally different persona that people know me by. I didn't want to tell them who I am.
Mm,
um, I wrote that book. Sometimes 3 months took me good parts, and for 3 years I wrote the rest. I cry and laugh. I reconcile with my family, and I actually saw how different perspective I have on my past, because now I'm healed and forgiven and I'm thriving. And I thought I agreed to write this book only because I thought, you know what? This story can help someone else, because if they think, wow, somebody got through this, and trust me, like for 10, 15 years it was hell. And that's why I'm saying it's hell to heaven. And if you think God not gonna forgive me because I did this, because I've done this, because I saw this, because who I am, that is a lie as well. Because if you can see someone who go through hell and come out victorious, I hope and pray that you, for a second, just think, maybe can I? I want that too, because that starts with your desire. I want to better. I want to be better for myself, for my mind, for people around me. But number one, it's me. Like, I don't want to be who I am. I don't want to be doing what I'm doing. I want to change. And when you start seeking that change, all the doors gonna be open. And if you decide to change your life, you can do it here. Absolutely.
mm.
Wow.
Wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow. That was amazing. That is amazing. And you know what? I love what you're saying because every time that Ali and I will talk about purpose, opportunity, seeking a change in your life, it never really hits you until you hear or go through really really tough situations. And I think that you have come so far, and your message is just so inspirational. At every point you are looking for an opportunity, just like you said. When you seek that change, the opportunity will come, and that right there is so
Mhm.
beautiful. So, Lena, where can we find your book? Oh, and also, you said you had a podcast now.
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
about your podcast.
It's well, it was very interesting with this book. Now, like 4 years past, I'm thinking like every morning I'm waking up, I'm thinking, God, thank you so much for making me do it. I love this. I closed my business, I closed my salon because I thought it was my dream. But then, trust me, like I felt like I'm going against my destiny. Like it was like just wasn't right. And then the salon closed. I start concentrate on my kids. And it's funny, salon closed in April, and in August, book got published. And before COVID, I had 6 speaking engagements, and I was standing with the mic on the stage, and I'm saying to them, I always thought I have a stage fright. I don't think so. I love this. I love to talk. I love to be center of attention. I love sharing this story. I love to share God's salvation. I love to inspire, encourage, and to give hope. So I felt like I'm so like blown away how much I love where I am now. And even like looking at this book, I'm just like I'm in love in this. I made this picture by myself. This
Oh,
pearl necklace I wore for my wedding. This other leaf I bought on one of the kind show. This is all my personal jewelries, because God said to me in that time that I'm precious and priceless to Him. And
Mm.
I want to say that to you guys. You are precious and priceless. So I love this book. I truly do. And I love to share my story. And now I'm launching a podcast because it's part of the connection now with people, because now we're all in home, so we have a choice. Should we listen something that would kind of not gonna be good for our mind, or we can go somewhere to be inspired and encouraged? And I listen lots of podcasts that I love, so I'm thinking like I would like to try. And I'm so excited. You know what? This is another thing. I came like from all this all over the place, like countries. I didn't speak the language. I now published author. Now I'm launching podcast and I speak in different language, but I want to try new things. So podcast was thing. I learned how to do it, and I love to record and editing. And I like to have friends over, and it's just been such an amazing journey how like one after another God opened me door, and all I need to do just show up and have courage, just go through it. And on another side, it's just like the coolest reward ever, because I thought I write this book for someone else, but it was amazing for me, because amazing experience, because I almost went through therapy with God and looking into the past from different perspective and see how much I've healed. I cry so much, but there was no pain, because I'm like so on another side that I can see that girl who actually just striving to survive.
Mm.
Because before I look in the past, it was the story of guilt, shame, condemnation. But now I'm looking into it, I'm like, I survived where lots of people died, and I recover. I have like, this is another crazy story. I'm healthy. I'm healthy in my mind, my body is healthy, my liver is healthy, my relationship is healthy, my children is healthy. It's just like glorious. If somebody said to me, would you have another life without the struggle? I would say no, because there was the reason for me go through and end up here in this chair today, saying what I'm saying, feeling what I'm feeling, getting response that I'm having. And trust me, everyone who I spoke to never judged me, never left me, never condemned me. So there's another encouragement. If you think that you have that shame and guilt that you cannot tell someone because they will shame you, this is on them, not on you.
Mm.
Because the people who love you, they will never leave you and never forsake you.
Wow,
Wow.
I love that.
Wow. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lena.
Lena.
Wow, that was powerful. And we have some comments. The support is here for you, Lena.
Thank you.
Incredible story. That's awesome. Very powerful. And then you got the strong emoji. Strong emojis.
I know the Russians.
Yes.
So I love that what you said. I love how you said at the end there, I wouldn't, if I had another life, I would still pick the one that I had, because throughout my struggle, I learned more of the most fundamental things. I learned I was surviving. I was trying to thrive in an environment that was dying. I was trying to do the things for me to just live a life where everybody else around me was dying, right? I love how you said that. And because of that, I had these different experiences. And then because of that, that led me into Canada. And through Canada, I met the different people that helped me. I started a job. That was my hairstylist. I went to cosmetics. I got the degree. I started my own hair salon. I thought that was what I wanted to do. I was loving life. And then you realize God's destiny for me still, the universe, if you believe in that, whatever you believe in, something that grounds you, having that faith is very important there. Allowed you to figure out, all right, my goal now is I've moved on from hairstyling. I've moved on from making people's day from there. Now I want to inspire the world with the story of myself and shine the light. So I love how you said that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us
sorry,
today.
Ali, sorry to cut you off there. Lena, I have to tell you this, because this morning, this is so funny.
Quote?
This morning, our quote,
Yeah.
of the day. Ali, what was our quote of the day?
Our quote of the day was by Steve Jobs. He said, "Love the work that you do, right? Don't settle for less. Like love what you do."
There you go. Don't settle for less. You did not settle for less. And I think that synchronicity is so powerful. So thank you so much for joining us. Viewers, if you are watching this was a very, very powerful interview. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah,
make sure to like, comment, and share. Thank you for joining us. And one last thing is, if you look at Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the basic ones, right? You were saying how that you had to fulfill your first basic needs, then you could think about, doing something great. First, you had to, when you came to Canada, you said, I was getting my documentation. That was the first thing that made you feel fulfilled, felt like you got your security. Yes, exactly. And then you got your job, you got the food, you got the relationships, and because you finally got the basic needs, fulfilled, then you're able to move on to your higher needs of the fulfillment, self-fulfillment, and inspiring the world. So, Lena, thank you so much. Did you have anything else to say or comments to our audience?
Well, definitely. Like first, you have to listen to that desire in your heart because God put that on purpose. If you hear or feel, you have to act on it. There's my website. I'm on all the social media, and my website, same as my podcast, it's love and letter B, loved. So because I do believe we all created to love and be loved. So you can find me or you can just Google my name. You definitely find all the social media links or through your guys' links. And I'm just encourage you guys, look her up this organization called Fight for Freedom. And I'm gonna put all the links for you guys as well. And there are lots of resources. They teaching about human trafficking prevention, and they give you opportunities to partner up as well in any different forms. And sometimes we're thinking like maybe we need to do something grand, but you know what? Every little bit counts, even like sharing awareness and talking about and help, just help, because there's people who still in the midst of it and need to hear and the story of forgiveness and second chances and need to hear that they're not alone and there's help is available. So I just encourage you, if you know of something or someone, please help them. Or if you need help, please seek help because it is available for you. You're not alone.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thank you
so much, Lena.
This was presented by APSO. Awesome people.
Shaping our world.
Remember, you are awesome.
And you can make the world a better place. Bye.
Bye.